At First Choice Bank, we know you can't always make it before the bank closes. With our integrated teller, you can talk to a live person as late as 7 p.m. on weekdays and noon on Saturdays. It's not just an ATM, it's an ITM. First Choice Bank, your choice for banking.
At Room to Room, there's no need to wait. Black Friday deals are going on now.
Ready for the best sleep you've had in years? For a limited time only, get an heirloom king-size mattress for the price of a queen.
Room to Room Tupelo, where we know there's no place like your home.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 5.
Good afternoon and welcome into Mississippi Live Weather at 5. I'm meteorologist Gabe and we are tracking a freezing cold forecast. Emphasis on freezing because that's what we had this morning across North Mississippi. And those cold temperatures continued into the afternoon with even lower temperatures expected getting into our Tuesday. Yes, buckle up, keep that warm gear around, and of course make sure that heat is cranked because you will need it. A frost on the pumpkin type warning ahead. I sent a message out this morning saying, how can you tell the forecast without using numbers? And you guys did a great job. So throughout the evening, we're going to have headlines that are featuring some of your comments. So if you haven't done so, meteorologist Gabe Maynard, go ahead and insert your comment there. Lots of, honestly, I was rolling reading them. So go ahead and put yours in and maybe you'll be featured at the 6 or the 10 o'clock hour. But yes, that's a great way to describe the forecast that we're in. Still in fall, so our fall decorations, pumpkins included, still in that, but unfortunately getting those frosty conditions along with it. But temperatures do get better. Have to be a little bit patient, but pushing into that midweek part of our forecast, we do see some warmer temperatures move in. And Veterans Day forecast, what to expect for any of those programs happening tomorrow. We've emphasized cold, but what else can we see here across North Mississippi? We'll track the very latest details on that forecast in just a moment. The first 12, you may see what to expect already. 36 degrees by 6, but by 9 p.m. we're already sitting below freezing at 28 degrees. Whew, let me say it again, 28 degrees, guys. Warm up. It's going to be a cold one for sure. 25 close to midnight, and we're just continuing that downward trend all the way to 22 degrees heading out the door tomorrow morning. So if you thought this morning was cold, it's going to be a bone-chilling forecast as we get into our morning commute for our Tuesday. So layers, yes, layers, not just one layer, will be needed as we head out the door for any of those Tuesday morning plans. Addison already featuring 37 degrees. Dew Point, 14 degrees shows how abnormal this forecast is and how dry things are. So we are getting those cold temperatures, but unlike our neighbors up in the Northeast, we're still dry here in North Mississippi. Edinburgh, 37 degrees, still with that dew point around 14 degrees. So no, we're not expecting any snowfall or any accumulating snowfall at that rate. So don't have to worry about that in our forecast, but definitely have some pretty sights up there towards the Northeast that we'll be able to feature later on this evening. So stay with us in just a moment. Winona, 39 degrees, dew point at 16 degrees. Still those winds coming out of the northwest at about 7 miles an hour. So those breezy conditions along with the cold temperatures making for a little taste of winter, to say the least. Looking at some of that snowfall amount, we can see a lot of that, those trace amounts up there towards Chattanooga, Knoxville, and Nashville. We did have a little bit of a flurry close to the Tupelo area up there towards Dumas, right along the Tennessee state line. But fortunately, no snowfall accumulation. That's the last thing we need in our forecast. So we're definitely grateful for that, but still cool to see some of those flakes push into the area. Definitely it was a nice surprise as we got through our forecast today. 37 degrees in Tupelo right now, 36 in Memphis, and 40 around Greenville. We'll look at these coming up tonight at 6 o'clock and really emphasizing it at 10 on those records. Yes, we could have potentially broke some records or at least tied some records. We'll look at that here in a few moments or later on in this evening's forecast for what to expect with that. But today has definitely been an abnormally cold one for sure. 32 around Chattanooga, 28 towards Knoxville. So this is why some of that snowfall is accumulating, albeit trace amounts, still going to have a little bit of that on the ground. My sister's over there for her honeymoon with her husband, and they're over in Chattanooga. Got a great video of some of that snowfall, heavy snowfall at that, so some trace amounts already showing up. But that temperature change, as we emphasize that it's much colder out here in the east, you can see we're at about a 9 to 10 degree difference here in North Mississippi, but nowhere near that 30 to 32 degree difference in Georgia and South Carolina. Oh man, that is a cold forecast, and I'm grateful that's not what we're experiencing here. I can handle upper 20s, but once we start talking about a 30 degree temperature change in 24 hours, it's a whole different beast right there. Mississippi Live Weather Radar, dry across North Mississippi right now. And as we bring it back into our home view, you can see that we're not tracking anything in the form of rainfall. That'll be the case for our overnight hours as well. So don't need to worry about anything in regards to rainfall or with temperatures being how cold they are. anything in regards to snowfall. So we're not worried about that in our forecast, still keeping those dry, high pressure like forecast in place. Satellite imagery, not having much of anything in regards to some of the cloud cover in the sky. So we're going to stay dry, we're going to stay clear, and those clear conditions really paving the way for that cool forecast to take place. But our national analysis, our surface analysis, definitely showing that snowfall up there towards the northeast, where some lighter amounts are moving into North Alabama. My parents might be getting a little bit of snowfall as well, but they're just outside of the spectrum right there. But definitely cool to see that push into the forecast, and a really cool thing to see because it's not here in North Mississippi. We don't want to have the effects of snow here, at least not just yet, because I mean it gets to be hazardous whenever we start to talk about snowfall here in the area. So a large part of that staying near Knoxville, Lexington, up there towards West Virginia, heavy amounts around West Virginia, as you can see right there. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of that national analysis because this is our closest snow event here to North Mississippi, especially impactful snow event. This is up around the Madison, West Virginia area and Charleston. You can see some of those heavier amounts right there, right along I-79. So folks up there, hopefully driving safely, and there's plenty of pictures and videos around that are just showcasing what they're experiencing. It's been a doozy of a day to say the least, but our closest snowfall, our closest snowflake, should I say, is about, let's see, let's get the measuring tool and do some analysis here. It's about 40 miles. We're 40 miles out of the way, but we did get some of those flakes earlier on today. We'll take a look at that in just a moment. But a cool thing to see. I just can't get over it. It's our first one of the year for sure, at least first time seeing flakes for the year. And we'll see what that spells for winter moving forward. Futurecast staying on the drier side. Let's go ahead and expand this out once again to showcase that surface analysis. But what you're going to see is high pressure dominating the area. It's clockwise flow all the way up into the all the way up close to Iowa and the Dakotas. You can see all of that right there with that southerly flow wrapping around right there towards Iowa and Minnesota. And then we start to get more of that southerly flow out here towards, did I lose it? All the way out here towards Columbus, Ohio, and then we're starting to get some more of that southerly flow all the way down here into the southeast once again. So this is the interaction. This is the high pressure system that's dominating our region, and we'll really see that northerly flow all the way into the next couple of days before that southerly flow kicks back into the forecast and gives us a little bit more of those warmer temperatures, because again, it's not going to be cold forever. Those things do trend in the right direction at some point. As we get into those overnight hours, you can see high pressure already trending a little bit more east, but being that we are right in the center of the high pressure system at 3 a.m. shows those dry, clear conditions in North Mississippi, allowing for that heat to escape the little bit we do have and makes way for a cold forecast for the start of our Tuesday. Back on the west side of it, some warmer temperatures pushing in place, and that's going to be our forecast moving into the future. So we do have some relief moving in at some point, but unfortunately it's not going to be before our early morning commute on our Tuesday, so make sure to stay warm in the process. As you can see right here, next 22 degrees heading out the door at 6 a.m., 38 by 9, 51 by noon. That's warmer than where we've sat at any point today. So there is going to be those warmer temperatures moving in as early as our Tuesday afternoon. 54 by 3 and then cooling off once again, but 41 by 9 compared to our 28 degrees at 9 this evening. I'll take a 13-degree temperature difference, especially if that spells warmer conditions moving forward. And that's one of the things we'll be talking about here in the next 24 is just how warm are we talking? When is our next chance of rainfall? And Veterans Day programs happening tomorrow. What do you need to know before those programs get started? We'll look at that in full detail coming up in the Room to Room Weather Center here in the next 60.
Give the gift of a delicious burger from Bulldog Burger. A soup and sandwich from Sweet Pepper's Deli, appetizers and cocktails from The Grill, or even a wood-fired steak from Harvey's. Choice is the perfect gift. An all-in-one gift card from Eat With Us.
What I thought was a complete life was nowhere near complete. But it is now.
Learn about adopting a teen at adoptuskids.org.
Right now, from the Room to Room Weather Center, here's meteorologist Gabe Maynor.
Well, the cold conditions continue across North Mississippi with temperatures right now reading around 37 degrees. Feels like right around freezing in dew point. Very low as of this point, but that northwest wind really cycling in those colder conditions and yes, those drier conditions. Our low temperatures today, 28 degrees. That happened this morning. 40 degrees was our high temperature. Average for this time of year should be between 43 and 66. Nowhere near that even on our high temperature scale. So this has been a cold one to say the least, Matt, but we have been close to record setting as well. 26 degrees our normal or our record low for this time for today in history, and then 28 degrees our low today, only 2-degree difference. That shows how abnormal this is, right?
Absolutely. I mean, had, I guess, today been tomorrow, we would set a record low for sure. And then we're going to be very close to that. I know it's something you'll be looking at in more detail coming up at 6 o'clock there as we track things here in the Room to Room Weather Center. And as we look back again at those conditions for today, as you mentioned just a moment ago there, 40 is not warm, obviously. I mean, come on, that's below our average low where we typically are for this time of the year. As we advance things here, looking at Mississippi Live weather radar across the region, nothing out there at this point. We did, believe it or not, even in the Mississippi Live weather app, have a few snowflakes we detected earlier today. I do want to show you a video that we had of that earlier on sent in using the social media. Here we go. And yes, it's short. I get that. But those are flakes, and you almost had to have something dark there to contrast with it so that you could see it. But these were some bona fide snowflakes that fell in the Dumas area up there in Tippah County earlier on with our other folks here. Amy, who's helping us with marketing at Mississippi Live Weather, was up in Boonville a little earlier on, and she saw it as well. She just wasn't able to, unfortunately, get any sort of pictures of that, just because it's hard to get video of it when it's just like this. But use that Mississippi Live Weather app, probably the easiest way to share your photographs with us, or in this case, share those videos with us. Okay, again, looking at the snowfall totals, and the fact we even have to say snowfall totals is kind of almost hilarious in this situation. But believe it or not, you can see just the lightest color change on our graphic there, where we did have a little bit of that fall. Didn't really truly accumulate to anything of significance out there, but again, a sign that we did have just a little bit that fell out there. Looking at the radar at this point here, back toward the north and east, yeah, we do have some spots out there. We still have some lighter variety snowfall depicted up there closer to Huntsville and up toward Columbia, Tennessee, and Nashville. So snow, I know, it shows you we're cold enough, but unfortunately, if you're looking for moisture, we're too dry to support anything of significance out there. So here's a look at Futurecast. And again, showing those northerly winds. Again, that is the story, continuing to bring in the very cool conditions that will once again probably set us up with some teens for wind chill temperatures tomorrow morning. This evening, though, not a whole lot better with those wind chills dropping through the 30s and the 20s. And again, likely by even 9 p.m., some of those wind chill temperatures, even with winds calming down, probably back there into the 20s. Same thing, obviously, for 10 p.m., but we are clear for all those evening plans. No precipitation out there. And that's one of the things that helps those temperatures to drop so effectively overnight. There's just no blanket of cloud cover to insulate us at all. And so that allows those temperatures, obviously, to get down there pretty cool. Now, we look at low temperatures for tomorrow morning. We're going 23 in Tupelo and Amory and Houston. Record on the books is 22. We'll look more at that data coming up at 6 o'clock with our meteorologist, Gabe Maynard. We're going to be down to 21, though, in Bruce, one of our coldest spots in the region. Red Bay, we show 21 for early tomorrow morning. This shows Oxford at 24. I think that's hoping that maybe there's just a little bit of a breeze off of the lake there. I will mention this. It's not impossible that we could have, and I use this phrase very, very loosely here, lake effect snowflakes. And sometimes you get this really cold air going over top of a lake. It picks up some moisture and drops just the most microscopic of snowflakes. Doesn't add up to anything, but if you're in the correct direction with just the light wind that we have there near maybe Sardis Lake or Grenada Lake or Enid Lake, not impossible to get that. Ultimately, though, everybody's going to school. It's not that kind, but it's cold tomorrow morning. Drop-off temperature, 24 degrees. We're 47 by lunch and 53 by afternoon. So it will feel a world warmer than it did today, tomorrow afternoon. We're 13 degrees warmer with less wind. That's going to heat us up over today. So it will feel a lot warmer tomorrow. It's not going to feel warm per se. It's just warmer, as far as those temperatures are concerned. Look at Futurecast here. Again, dry as we progress throughout your Tuesday. You can see, again, those mostly clear skies, the big story. That wind direction shifting around to the south, starting a warming trend that continues all throughout the extended forecast. If you're expecting this to shift into full-on winter, that is not the case. We're going to do the Mississippi thing here, where those temperatures start increasing a bit more over the course of the next couple of days. And just a couple of clouds out there, but no precipitation coming from any of that as we stay dry through almost the entire extended forecast period there. But again, a few thin clouds out there kind of filtering that sunshine just a little bit. High temperatures on your Tuesday are normal for this time of year, coming in around 66. Will be 55 in Tupelo, 57 in Houston, but it is, again, a lot warmer feeling for tomorrow in the afternoon versus where we were for today. Only 51 Hamilton, Alabama, 50 there for Red Bay, or 58 in Greenwood, and 58 degrees in Greenville and Belzona, as we, running a bit above our normal by the extended forecast, but we're not there yet. In fact, even maybe Wednesday, we could be already to above normal temperatures. We'll look at that in just a moment. But again, southerly winds, the story, go on a wider shot here for a second. We do have, again, that high pressure center down in the Gulf of Mexico. We get that return flow off of that. You can start seeing more of those clouds working their way northward into our area. And that kind of, again, probably keeps those temperatures from getting quite as cool for early morning on your Wednesday. A little bit of insulation with that. Then this quick front. And you can see, even looking on the wide shot here, back out toward Arkansas, how it just has kind of that cutoff as far as clouds are concerned there. That is a sign that that front does kind of probably extend a little farther west than where you see the blue here on the graphic. But that does try to, again, keep the moisture somewhat limited, but you can see no precipitation with that on your Wednesday, as we are still dry and mostly clear through that day, even into Wednesday evening and Wednesday night. So temperatures will be 69 in Tupelo for the high temperature on your Wednesday, and that would put us, again, a couple degrees above that 66 we typically expect to be for this time of year. 72 Greenville and Belzona, about 73. We're 69 Louisville, and 70 there for Macon. For Aliceville, 71 degrees in the Columbus area. Dry, and again, not record-setting. The only record we're getting close to possibly tomorrow morning. Again, Gabe will look at that in more detail coming up during our 6 o'clock broadcast. Hey, your forecast for Veterans Day tomorrow. Again, we appreciate here on Mississippi Live all those folks that do serve our country and have served our country. That is a commitment that myself, our meteorologist Gabe Maynor, have not made. And so it's not something that I can ever put myself in your shoes. But I can say that we are indebted and very, very grateful to those folks who have served in the armed forces and in some cases, lost their lives. Your service is definitely appreciated. So thank you so much for everything that you have done, and we appreciate that. 54, that 3 p.m. temperature. If you happen to be going out to one of the area events going on, obviously in the morning when a lot of those tend to take place, you'll definitely want to bundle up gloves, longer sleeves. Still enough of a wind out there that it will be chilly. As we look at that 7-day forecast here, we are back to warmer by, again, Wednesday at 69. We're 71 degrees by Thursday. I mean, as you can see, definitely a big difference there as we look at the extended forecast. 75 Friday for our Mississippi Live Game of the Week, 75 degrees as we look towards Saturday. Next rain chances I could start to argue for maybe the first part of next week, and we're not overly impressed by those at this point here. I do want to bring in our meteorologist, Gabe Maynor, here for a second as we talk a little bit about this extended forecast here in more detail. And Gabe, by the way, I can hear you. Unfortunately, I guess you can't hear me. Is that correct? Okay, yeah, you're waiting for me to stop talking, aren't you?
Matt, I'm going to keep it a buck with you. I can't hear a thing right now.
Okay, so I'm going to circle. So look at the monitor. I'm circling. Can you see me circling Monday? You can't hear anything.
I apologize. This is like I'm trying to read lips right now.
Folks at home know we had a power outage at the Center for Ideas today. And so it gave us an opportunity to kind of test some things here behind the scenes. So because of that, Gabe can't hear what I'm saying, which is okay. So I'll go ahead and let him wrap things up for you here, and we'll get that fixed between now and our 6 o'clock broadcast. So I'll send it back to Gabe there in the studio for that as we kind of advance things.
All right. Well, I take it that means that I will wrap up the show. Sweet. Okay. We will try to get this addressed for the 6 o'clock show. We lost power earlier today. I think Matt spoke on that a second ago. So yeah, we'll hopefully address this. That way we can kind of have some back and forth coming up tonight at 6, and also discuss those records that are potentially being broken coming up tonight at 6 as well. We thank you for just keeping it with Mississippi Live Weather, and we hope that you are staying informed in all of these cold temperatures. Again, it's abnormal for this time of year, so we want you guys to stay as prepared as possible. One of those ways, tuning in here to Mississippi Live Weather, but also downloading that free app on your app store, both iOS and Android, available today, and emphasis on that free. Keeps you guys informed. What more reason do you need? Nothing comes free nowadays. Live shows happening at 5, 6, and 10. That's where we'll come back here in the next 30 minutes or so for the next 6 o'clock broadcast, and then 10 o'clock.
Sorry, I hit the wrong button. Back to you.
All right. And the next broadcast is at 6 o'clock. And again, we'll get those audio issues fixed coming up tonight. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. We'll see you back here in the next half hour.
We come from a long line of farmers, and there's a sense of pride, but there's also a significant amount of pressure.
Farmers have to take care of their physical and their mental health, because what's a farm without a farmer?
Watching the sun come up, that's my time. I can have a cup of coffee, and every day is a new opportunity.
That's cool.
Yay!
Don't forget to check in on yourself. Love your mind.